Christened after the Greek Titans, the RMS Titanic, constructed in Belfast, Ireland, held the #2 spot amongst the trio of Olympic-class ocean liners. Southampton, 1912. A bustling port prepares for departure. This image shows the RMS Titanic ready to embark on her maiden voyage to New York City. Harland and Wolff had free rein on expenses for the construction of the Titanic, prioritizing luxury and innovation over strict cost controls. In addition, a 5% profit margin was assured. 1909 marked the start of the mighty Titanic's construction at Harland and Wolff's Belfast shipyard, a company with a deep connection to the White Star Line since 1867. The three-propeller configuration was the most efficient at the time. The reciprocating engines drove the two wing propellers, while the turbine engine powered the central propeller. The Café Parisien was the first of its kind on any British passenger liner. Located on B deck, it offered passengers a unique experience reminiscent of a Parisian sidewalk café. Located on the A deck, the veranda cafe was elegantly furnished with wicker tables and chairs spread out across a checkerboard tiled floor in black and beige, offered stunning ocean views. On board the Titanic, communication took a giant leap forward with the use of wireless technology. This system sent Morse code messages via radio waves, a novelty for the time. The Titanic was powered by two triple-expansion reciprocating engines, each measuring 63 feet in length. These massive engines were responsible for driving the ship's wing propellers. The first-class dining saloon, located on D deck, was enormous. It spanned the full width of the ship and measured 114 feet long. This grand room could accommodate over 500 passengers. The boat deck was the topmost of the Titanic's 10 decks, constructed of teak and divided into 4 segregated promenades: officers' promenade, first-class area, engineers' area, and the second-class area. The grand staircase was opulent and impressive. Located in the first-class section of the ship, it was constructed from wrought iron and featured oak paneling, intricate carvings, and bronze cherubs. Higley & Sons, with their proven track record, was chosen to make the Titanic's massive anchor chain. The largest link within the anchor attachment measured 36 inches, while the others were forged at 33 inches. Captain Edward J. Smith, the master of the RMS Titanic, began his life at sea as a teenager. He gradually rose through the ranks, earning certificates as a second mate, first mate, and eventually a master. The Titanic's luxurious gym was available exclusively to first-class passengers. Situated on the Titanic's boat deck, near the iconic grand staircase, passengers found an array of state-of-the-art exercise equipment. The Queen Anne-style staterooms were among the most luxurious accommodations available to first-class passengers. Meticulously designed with exquisite attention to detail, featuring rich wood paneling, intricate carvings, and plush furnishings. Reserved exclusively for first-class passengers, the A-deck promenade extended along the entire 546 feet length of the superstructure. It was the second deck from the top, situated above the boat deck. Elevated on the poop deck was the docking bridge, and underneath it was a door leading to the steering gear room. Many benches were placed for passenger use, providing a space to relax and enjoy the sea air. The reading and writing room was purpose-built for first-class women. Painted in white and furnished elegantly, it provided a serene space for relaxation, reading, and writing. A huge bow window allowed occupants to gaze out onto the promenade deck. Although third-class passengers occupied a smaller proportion of space compared to first class, their accommodations were relatively comfortable for the time. These cabins were located near the engines, which meant passengers experienced noise and vibrations. The first-class smokeroom was a late-night lounge exclusively for male passengers. Located on A deck, it served as a place to congregate, socialize, discuss business, politics, and enjoy leisure activities. The first-class lounge was one of the most ornate public rooms on board the Titanic. Modeled in the Louis XV style, it drew inspiration from the Palace of Versailles. Located midship on A deck, it offered views onto the promenade deck and the vast ocean beyond. The sumptuous staterooms boasted top-notch amenities. Their interiors were inspired by different periods, including the grandeur of Louis XV and the classic lines of Georgian and Queen Anne styles. The final photograph of the Titanic afloat was taken during its maiden voyage, gliding on the ocean's surface near Crosshaven, Ireland. The ship had just left Queenstown, now known as Cove, and was en route to New York. On the night of April 14, 1912, Frederick Fleet and fellow lookout Reginald Lee were on duty in the Crow's Nest. Fleet first sighted the iceberg and urgently rang the bridge, proclaiming, "Iceberg, right ahead!" On the fateful night of April 14, 1912, the mighty Titanic collided with an iceberg just before midnight. The ship sank within a mere 3 hours, taking more than 1,500 lives with it. In the early hours of April 15, 1912, the survivors of the Titanic were rescued from lifeboats by the RMS Carpathia. Of the approximately 2,200 people aboard the Titanic, only around 700 survivors made it into lifeboats. The Carpathia, a heroic rescue ship, navigated through ice fields to reach the Titanic's lifeboats approximately 2 hours after the ship sank, where the crew worked tirelessly to pull the stranded passengers from the icy waters. As news of the Titanic's sinking spread, anxious crowds gathered outside the White Star Line offices in New York City. These people were desperate for confirmation about the fate of their loved ones who had been aboard the ill-fated ship. The boy known as Ned Parfit is holding an evening news poster with the headline, "Titanic Disaster, Great Loss of Life." His expression reflects the gravity of the tragedy that had unfolded in the icy waters of the North Atlantic. Out of the approximately 2,240 people who sailed on the Titanic's maiden voyage, 212 crew members survived the disaster. This includes various roles such as engineers, able seamen, stewards, and other crew members. 2 young brothers named Michel and Edmond Navratil, after surviving the disaster, were reunited with their mother, Marcelle Navratil, when she saw their picture in a newspaper. Sadly, their father had perished during the ship's sinking. The Titanic Memorial is a granite statue in Washington, D.C., honoring the men who sacrificed their lives so that women and children could be saved during the sinking of the Titanic. The memorial was installed in 1930 and dedicated in May 1931. Thanks for joining us on this journey back in time, friends. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and we'll catch you on the next one.